Fucking
That's
let's
it.
go.
What's that?
Clip that.
Don't clip that. We'll be banned.
Straight away. The first thing.
So
First
Lakers can't
release.
join us anymore. He's
All
got
right.
a 5-year ban off social media.
All right, here we go. Welcome back, Thoroughbreds. 2025 season is upon us. We're back with the Penalty Broncos here, ready to kick into the new rugby league season that we know of it. We are the number one Broncos podcast that we listen to. We're bringing you the best professional amateur opinions on all things NRL and NRLW. I'm coming to you from the new and improved Bandwagon Bar here up in scummy old Townsville. But anyway, we'll kick into it. We've got Langers on board here. We've got Ringer. How you going, guys? I'll throw to you, Ringer, first, mate. How was your break? How'd you go?
Righto. Great to be back, mate. Had a great time off. Got into me cricket work, I think, like everyone did. Got into me many beers and big feeds over Christmas work, as you can probably tell. Had a great off-season, mate, but, you know, there comes a time when the last test finishes, I think, and you start looking up the road desperately for some rugby league football because there's this, like, real lull period when everything's finished. Like, if you're into tennis, I suppose you can jerk off to that, but, I mean, you know, if you're not, there's a fair period here where you're really getting deep into the speculation of the season coming up, and you just start to get the jitters, like, let's get into this now. So, looking forward to a big season, mate. Absolutely. Even with all the research done over the off season, I don't think I have 1% of an idea what I'm talking about tonight. So just getting that out there early for the Thoroughbreds to not follow a single fucking thing I'm saying. But, mate, super excited for another year of Penalty Broncos. Hopefully give the Thoroughbreds some bit of entertainment, and really keen to get back and have a chat with you boys every week.
Yeah, that's the go, mate. Mate, I don't know what you're talking about. You're filling out that medium shirt there quite well, I reckon.
Is that
what about you,
3
Langers?
X's and an L mean?
What about you, Langers? How you going, mate? How was your break?
Yeah, good, mate. Good. It's it's always good to have a break over Chrissy. You know, have a work break. Finish my TAFE course over that period as well. So no more TAFE. So that's just another good little bit of stress reliever off the back. So that's always good. But no, basically just mirroring what the Ringer himself has just said, mate. Just heavy into the cricket, heavy into the beers, heavy into some pretty outlandish feeds that we've been devouring in these past few weeks. So in a way, it's probably good to be back at work and, you know, doing a bit of exercise and trying to shed the Christmas kegs. But no, it was good to have that break, little reset, and can bring on this year of footy and Penalty Broncos, mate.
Yeah, fucking oath. That's what we're all here about. And then talking about the upcoming season, we're under a week away now from our first game. I believe it is. We've got to wait a little bit longer to see the Broncos run out and see what the team lists are like for that. Our first game of the preseason challenge is on the 16th against the Titans up in Toowoomba, I believe it is, that they're playing.
Okay.
And then we've got to wait a little bit longer there to see us against the Bulldogs. That'll be at KO Stadium. I do believe that's a bit of a double header going on there. So pretty keen to see those games and see what team the Honourable Madge runs out and who he plays where. There's a couple of hot rumours that we'll get to over the show about who could be starting where. So we'll get our thoughts on that as we go through. So just so the Thoroughbreds to know, next week on the podcast, because we're started up now for the year, we'll be coming to you weekly, dropping Mondays. We'll run through our predicted team list next week. See who we'll go through each position, start at fullback, work our way through to the bench. We'll see if we can line ourselves up, if we agree and whatnot, and what we expect to see out of some players, what we want to see in the trials, what could give us a good indication that we're on the money or we've completely missed it. And then after each trial match, we'll focus on the results and the stats, just like we would in the regular season. And then the weekend that is Vegas, we'll give you our final expected team list before they are actually announced that Tuesday. Obviously, we won't be playing in the first week, so we won't have our team list out. And then we take the Roosters on at Allianz Stadium Thursday, 6th of March, just to kick the season off right, really.
Love it.
But for now, we'll get into a bit of accountability. So for all the thoroughbreds here, before we started Penalty Broncos, Ringer and myself here, we used to have a bit of a group chat going on with the Gronk. We just shits and giggles. We throw it out there. Righto, lads, who's going to finish where come round 27? What's your hot take for the season? Top point scorer, top try scorer, all that sort of stuff. And then we just have a bit of a giggle about how wrong we were at the end of the year. So we're going to do that here for you at the start of this season. We'll try and do it at the end of this season as well, just to make it in line with our end of season sort of podcast that we do. And we'll start off with the Gronk because he's not here. He does have a good little video to come by later on. He's got he thinks he's got a pretty good excuse about where he went wrong, but I've got the real reason. I can tell you that right now. So he got absolutely obliterated. He got one position right, and that was the Panthers finishing second. He did have the Sharks and the Roosters by one. He had them finishing, what do you have them, third and fourth, but they actually finished the opposite way around to each other. He had the Rabbits sitting high. They dropped about 11 positions on him. And where he actually did go wrong is that he had the Cowboys finishing well outside the 8.
Yeah.
So they jumped up.
Right up his alley, isn't it? Shitting down the throat of his own team.
I mean, I'm all for I know he's going for that reverse psychology mentality. Yeah. I mean, but it's not doing him or his punching bag at home any good.
Yes.
So with our point system, the Gronk rightfully finished on 27, which is last. We'll move on to you, Ringer, mate. Do you want to take us through yours?
Oh, desperately not, but I will. So as with all of us Broncos fans, I think that the Bronx really hurt me anyway in our accountability and how we issue points. Did get the Panthers coming second though, so I am going to take that win. But yeah, mate, all down the list. I did have the Cows up there. I had high expectations of the Knights that never come to fruition.
Yeah, you really did, yeah.
I did. Yep. I think I might have been vilified a bit in it too about, like, I was high on Gamble being the 6 all year and, taking that team further on. But they never could seem to find a halves pairing all year. So anyway, they come good in the end a bit. But a lot of it, mate. I had the Titans too high, as probably every year. One thing I didn't have the Rabbits in the 8, which I think is not a bad pick. I'll give myself that one. But yeah, other than that, mate, completely upside down. Yeah, the poor old bloody Raiders, mate. I give them no hope. They finish in the 8. The Dragons, they crawl up the ladder. Yeah, so
Bulldogs.
And the Bulldogs. Yes, the Bulldogs absolutely fisted me. So, mate, as I said, I put a fair bit more effort in this year, and it's probably going to be the same results as next year. So, as I said, I think it's so hard to pick, I believe, because, who could in their right mind see the Bronx going from 50 seconds from a grand final win to not in the 8, and then a team like the Dogs, and if we probably should have with their systems and Seraldo and Critter and all that, but I mean, that's a pretty meteoric rise to go from where they were to 5th on the bloody table.
Yeah.
So, and but anyway, mate, as you can see, I come second last and handed you nicely an easy, comfortable win. So I'd like you to get into yours now, eh? You big skite.
Cheers for that. For those following along, Jack ended up with 26 points, so he just pipped his brother there, which is all that really matters at the end of the day. Exactly. I obliterated the competition and finished on 23. a fat, juicy 3 ahead of the ringer there. And the only reason why I did that is because I got an extra 2 places right. So, again, I had the Broncos sitting high. I had them finishing first, minor premiers. They dropped 11 places on me. Had the Panthers and the Roosters in the second and third, so I had them the right way around. Had the Storm there. Sure, they're all top 4 sort of in that area there, so happy with that. Manly and the Dolphins, I actually had them making the final series, but they obviously got pipped by the Knights there at the end. I had the Knights in their correct position in 8th spot. I wasn't as high on them as you were, but I did think that they would be able to give it a good tickle if they snuck in. Unfortunately, they did sneak in, but they bowed out. So, but really, other than that, I had the Sharkies way down the bottom.
Yeah.
And I mean, when you look at it with the spine that they had, they are in contention every year as long as those characters are running around their field. And then the Bulldogs as well. And I got shafted by the Dragons, who just consistently keep finding ways to not win the fucking spoon.
Yep.
And
we'll that way is the West Tigers.
Yeah, and I was a little bit high on the West Tigers. I had them finishing in 15th, but they went and proved me wrong and won their 3rd consecutive spoon. So, but yeah, that's the accountability for the ladder there. And if everyone's wondering why Langers is keeping quiet, is because he didn't get to put any in this year when we did this. But he's silently shitting himself about what he's going to do.
Congratulations, Brett. I just got to say, mate, congratulations. I think that's a pretty good effort to get 3 ladder spots right and to get 3 in the top 8. If you can emulate that again, mate, you'll be hard to beat, but I guarantee you don't get one next year and you'll be scrubbing the bottom of the decks with Gronk.
Holy fucking Jesus.
Yeah, coming in
not even a crossfire across the bow. He's just taking me out. Well, I'm just going to rub a bit of salt in the wound while I can then, because we'll move on to our other accountability. So I'll run through these real quick. So the actual top try scorer for the season was Khan Pereira from the Titans there. Now, the Gronk went Greg Marju, which you would think if the Knights did kick off, he'd be right up there. Greg the Leg. Ringer went DWZ from the Warriors there. Unfortunately, they had a bit of a Bronco-like season, so it wasn't too good. And I went Jermaine Zarko just because the lad used to be able to sniff a try line out like anything. So, but unfortunately, we all missed there. Top point scorers for the Gronk was Latrell Mitchell. Unfortunately, he was injured for a lot of the season, so he didn't really have a crack. Ringer, you went a nice little safe bet there with Ruben Garrick. Still couldn't pull the W out. And I went Adam Reynolds, and of course he went and tore his fucking bicep. So,
yes.
We'll move on from there. Now, we like to do a thing called the heat. So, what's going to be the hot topic? What's your hot take for the season? Good old Gronk's gone and put egg on his face and basically had scrambled for breakfast. He said pressure on Sticky. Now, I don't know. He's
never been more solid at the Raiders ever.
We're going to have to start calling him Teflon because shit doesn't stink the Sticky, man. Holy shit. Now, I guess, Jack, this is where you can put in a bit of a contest if you want. Now, I'll put you down as a loss because you said pressure on Brad Arthur.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I went Brad Arthur.
I think getting sacked could be a little bit pressure. But you
I reckon there was a bit of pressure before he got sacked, to be honest.
But I will give you the win there because you did actually say Brad Arthur sacked is what and I should have said that too, but pressure on Brad Arthur and you actually saying sack, that's a win for you, bro. So
I'll
give that to you. But I'm not going to take a real L there because there's definitely pressure leading up to the point of him being sacked.
Yeah. No, that's all right.
I'm with Ringer on that one.
Careful, the Cowboy supporter and both of you will fall out soon. No, so all right, and I don't get me wrong, I'm not here to hopefully they get it right that some bloke loses his job. But I mean, he did get sacked, which caused both his boys to leave the club as well. Jacob went to Manly, Matt went to the Knights, which I'm very interested to see if Matt ends up as the Knights full-time hooker, but I just don't think he's going to put it over Phoenix. And I've got in my notes here, Sticky more solid than ever. So
yeah.
we'll run with
He's
that.
just putting together a bloody Infinity Stones of young, hot robbers.
Yeah. I don't know how the fuck he does it. Anyway, we'll move on to predictions for 2025. So we'll do it as a bit of a group here. Gronk hasn't actually sent his through, so look for the socials during the week to see what he did. But what I was thinking of, lads, if we break it up into sections, so we'll go to the top 4. Who do we think are going to be the premiership contenders at the end of the season? And full disclosure, we talked about this in the green room. I use ChatGTP to predict my ladder. Now, you can hold me accountable if you want, but it was either that or I nerd out and spend 3 hours building a spreadsheet to come up with the exact same answer and still get it all wrong.
Yeah,
so,
but you got to tell the thoroughbreds, mate, you inputted, you overheated some servers with some of the shit you inputted.
500 lines of code in the ChatGPT.
Nearly had to pay.
That's a cop-out saying it was ChatGPT when you entered all of the information into its server.
Yeah, since the start, the inauguration of the NRL.
I basically told ChatGPT what the ladder was going to be.
Yeah.
No,
can you affirm this for me, please?
Can you just put this in nice font, please?
Yeah.
No, so what I did was I put in last year's ladder. I listed under each team their losses and their recruitments that they did, and my opinion about where I thought they were going, any coaching changes, blah, 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 all that coach history, all that sort of stuff. And it basically, it knows that we do this podcast, so it was pretty high on the Broncos as well. So I agreed with it. I let it live after that, what it gave me. But yeah, we'll see what everyone reckons, and we'll see how we went against you guys, because it sounds like we might have actually got it pretty close regardless of what's going on. So, all right, so top 4, I'll go first. I've got Broncos, Storm, Panthers, Bulldogs.
Oh. Okay, righto. So thanks, ChatGPT. So I've got the Storm top, Panthers second, just because juggernauts, are juggernauts. I've got the Bronx in third and the Doggies in fourth.
Okay. All right. What about you
Pretty
there,
high in the Doggies.
Langers?
Look, as a man that is torn between head and heart, the head would go Storm, but because I'm not a bitch like Ringer, I've gone Broncos.
Okay. I like it.
Look, it'll probably do me undone, but I think it's hopefully one of them two will be 1 or 2, Storm Broncos. So I've gone Broncos Storm, and then number 3, I've gone Sharks.
Oh.
And then 4 Panthers.
Okay.
Okay.
Little smoky in there.
Yeah.
I like it.
So my little description that I had with this was the Broncos. I just, when you're leading up into the beginning of a season, as a Broncos fan, not a lot of other teams will probably get this feeling. As a Broncos fan, you're nervous as shit. Because let's face it, if we start shit, a whole NRL community is just going to be just piling on. It's just one big shit pile. Yeah. If we go well, the whole NRL community is going to be fucking hating us, and it's awesome.
Yeah.
So I'm nervous about what emotions that I'm going to be feeling, say round 6, round 5, even after round 1 sort of thing. But I just, with the off season we've had, the way that it's all been managed in the media, the way that Madge is speaking, the lads are speaking, the podcasts that people are going on to and talking about, I feel like there's a real vibe around it. And I feel like even if we do come out against the Roosters, and I'm not high on the Roosters this year, and maybe we should put them to the sword, I'm thinking, from where we are. But I reckon no matter what happens, we'll see a very solid team. And I think it'll give the fans confidence of, right, they're doing what they're supposed to do. They're listening to Madge. They've all bought in. They're playing for one another, not the shit that we've seen towards the back end of 2024. Yeah. So I feel like that's just been absolutely thrown out the window, that kind of attitude. Storm, I feel like they haven't really lost anyone. If anything, they recruited, and they got Stefano down there, which should be okay. Maybe not straight away, but I can guarantee you round 27 he's firing. So I was like, We'll throw them in there. Panthers I put in there purely because they just find a way to do it. I don't know how they're going to. Yeah, I don't know how they're going to give Cleary a 10-week rest this year. They may not have that luxury, but they'll be there. And I think the Bulldogs just go one better. I just feel like they learn and they creep into it. So
I'll take the bitch one on the chin from Langers because I understand it. Being a Broncos podcast, I should be putting him on top. But here's what I'm thinking. I don't want to lose accountability again. I've crossed out, and I started off writing my list, right, of what my ladder was, and then I got so sick of crossing shit out and writing another one beside it that I just left it where it is and just put numbers beside it and then crossed them out because it was easier than writing more fucking words. But the reason I put Storm on top is exactly what you just said with Stefano. Last year, the biggest criticism of the Storm was, what are they going to do with their forward pack if they get an injury? Because where was, like, Nelson going to play? Like, how are they going to utilise that mountain when were they going to start with him? And sometimes they had to start with him. It just wasn't the same sort of effect. This year, with Stefano, you're dropping probably Tui Kamakamika back to the bench. You're going to have a bench of Wishy, Nelson, Kamakamika, and Garlic, or one of their young hot throbbers that's going to play like a utility role, like for the forwards. I just think it stiffens them up so much. And then that way they've got more props, like that big Lazarus Vamaletu or whatever his name is. He's just sitting there getting game time in Rezzi's, going to destroy some. So that's why I put them on the top. Panthers, same thing. They're just the Panthers. The reason I put the Broncos in third is that I agree with you. The team, the togetherness seems to be what they're all about at the minute with Madge there. It's like we've seen what he done with the Rabbits, how he made them a unit, like they were fighting for each other. I think that might take a couple of weeks to really kick in to get that new combination. And also, we always get raped with Origin, especially in our Benny Hunts there. Like, we could lose Walsh, Hunt, Tony, Selwyn,
Haas,
and like potentially
Paddy.
Paddy's going to be gone. Like, we're going to lose, so many now, especially with Ben Hunt coming up, especially playing in the spine as Hunt probably will be by the time we get to that stage. I just think we could drop a few around that Origin period, and that's why I put us in third, because I dead set think it's going to be very congested up top, and I think it's going to be very congested down the bottom. Yep. And then in the middle, it's going to be a flick of a coin between who plays. So that's why I put them in third. And then Bulldogs, same with you. I think they go one better. And I think Seraldo's got that old dogs of war sort of mentality back into them, and they're just going to be a prick of a team to play.
Yeah, no, fair. Do you want to elaborate any more on yours, Langer, or we'll head off onto the bottom 8 there?
No, I agree with Jack, to be honest. Like, Storm just seemed to be, like, there's no real question marks around the Storm, like you assume that they're going to just come out and just absolutely start demolishing teams like they always do. Storm will just be just another day at the office for them, I would imagine. Broncos, unfortunately, they still have a bit of a question mark around them, don't they? Like, new coach, all that sort of stuff. Like, all the social media is showing promising signs, so that's always good to see. But at the end of the day, it's still going to be a bit of a question mark. And that may take a couple of weeks for them to gel, and they may drop a few sort of games where, those big teams like the Storm, the Panthers, those sort of teams, they probably won't, like they'll just be business as usual. And then, with teams like that, I feel like if you give them too big of a head start, then you're just playing catch up for 25 rounds, basically. So, it's a bit of a tough one. But I also think, like what Ringer said, I reckon it's probably going to be a really tight ladder this year. I reckon for and against is going to be heavy this year. So hopefully if the Broncos do win some games, we pump them. And if we do happen to lose, then it isn't an absolute thrashing. So, it's good that we're all pretty much on the same page, though. So,
so far.
Let's dive into some more.
Righto. I've got who sneaks into the top 8. So we're looking at 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th place. Now, I'll let you kick off here, Ringer, mate. You wanna run through what you got?
Yeah, righto. So in fifth, I've got the Sharks. AFB coming over, same thing, solids them up, gives them a bit of, a winning edge, I think. It really updates their middles. If Nico plays well, they've got some really good, exciting kids in that Hazelton and some really cool outside back, that Tommy Atkinson, I think his name is.
Yep.
I think they've got a really good team. They've been there before. I just think this year, honestly, I think next year they could be comp favourite. This year, I think this is their year to really take on the finals because where they've usually faltered. I think this year is going to be the year where they really have a crack at the finals. And then next year is going to be their year with AFB being there and like getting a proper leadership group around and giving Nico some time. I've got the Rabbits in 6. The crazy Wayne effect can just do that. And we've all seen the photos of all that Trell. And, we know what that man can do. So, got the Rabbits. Only thing with there is the halves. If something happens to Cody, I don't know what sort of depth they've got, but they did buy that kid from Manly, was it?
Yes, it was. Yeah, he was touted as really good at Manly there.
So they, but he's still a kid. So
Humphreys,
that's him.
Yep.
I've got Manly in 7th.
Okay.
I think DCE is probably last year. If he stays injury free, Trbojevic, I know that's fucking paper dragon that, but I mean, if he stays injury free, they definitely have a team that can go deep. Just across the board, really. If Olakuatu fires, Jakey up front, like they've got a bloody good team, and Trbojevic at the back, speed, Garrett, Anyway, so I think they can, if they play well, they can get into 7th, and then 8th. I've actually got, and they burnt me 100 million fucking times, but I'm going to go with them because one time they're going to be right, is the Titans.
Oh,
I know. This is going to be this is my hot take, ready? Oh, well, it's one of my hot takes for this year. I just think Desi gets a second year at them. They're going to have to figure out, Kinney's the fullback now. Like, that's just non-negotiable. Yep. He's the best fullback there. They're going to have to figure out whether they trade Jaden or Brimo or someone, and they're going to have to figure out their fucking team is. So that's going to happen early. I think they have to. Like, no matter who, all this talk about, but they're all good, we can't lose. Bullshit. Pick the fucking best team, do a good trade to get somewhere else where you're lacking, and fucking be done with it. Like, grow a dick. And I think they can do it with Tino back. They've got so much strike. They really, they're just one of them flashy teams. And in a congested ladder, like Langers was saying, they're one of them teams that I think they're probably going to get beaten by 2 and beat teams by 30.
Yeah.
When they have an on day, they get a lot of day games.
Yep.
Like when they have an on day, AKP, Carter Gordon, like all these unknowns, AJ, Jaden Campbell, I think they're going to, do. And this is exactly what I said last year and fucking shit the bed. So, but, I just think they've got to, with Tino back, their spiritual leader, and Fafita, Bo Firma, they've just got such a good team there now that if they don't, fucking give up. Just kick them out of the comp, like, fuck them.
Yeah.
I know that'll hurt Clarkie's fifth, but I mean, if they can't do something this year, at least that's why I've got them in 8. Like, they need to do something this year anyway.
You got them there just in hope.
In hope that I think when they play well, they're a good team to watch.
Yeah.
They're exciting as fuck, and they, nothing like a few Gold Coast boys with stripper glitter still dripping off them from bloody the weekend before, giving a few teams a touch-up. So I think it's good bloody rugby league football to watch, mate.
Mate, they love a good Sunday afternoon in the daylight fucking footy, don't they?
Oh, yeah. White line
gives
fever.
them a chance to get over the hangover from Friday.
yeah.
Righto,
so
Langers.
That's my top 8, mate.
Righto, Langers. What do you reckon?
Righto. 5th, I've gone Bulldogs. I've basically gone nearly the same as Ringer, because I've gone Bulldogs. as 5, so still, heavy up there.
Yep.
Then I've gone Rabbits as well. The old Wayne Bennett effect of just like Ringer, I had to do my list a few times, and I put the Rabbits right down the bottom until I remembered that Wayne is here now, and Latrell will be firing under Wayne's sort of leadership. He sort of just has that gift, gift of the gab. He can those sort of players that struggle with like confidence and like that sort of shit that you can sort of see. He can just get in their ear, just sit them down and just make the best of them. Like, look what he did to the Dolphins.
Yeah.
Like there was a lot of those players were just like, you're signing for the Dolphins because no one else wants you.
Yeah.
And just turn them around to just, like Jermaine Osako, Broncos got rid of him because he was just like no good anymore apparently. But then, under a bit of Wayne's, leadership and guidance, top point scorer, so I think the Rabbits are going to be up there. I've gone Manly as well for 7. Same exact reason that Jack said. You got some awesome players there. Hopefully, they've been playing together for a long time now, so hopefully they can sort of put it all together. DCE probably won't have too many years left, so hopefully, he can do something right for our old Queenslander mate there. And round out the 8, I've gone the Roosters, but I am unsure on that one.
Yeah. I did.
That's probably my biggest question mark out of this whole ladder.
Yeah, I have no idea where to place the Roosters.
Because, there's certain chat, if you read certain parts of the social media, that they're in a rebuilding stage and, they're happy not to even make the 8 because they're, in a rebuilding sort of era. And then other people are saying, like, top 4, no dramas sort of thing, So, yeah, who knows? I've just snuck them in there just in case and, see how we go.
All right,
what about you, Bretto? What did ChatGPT say?
Mate, it's pretty interesting, actually. We're all, our 8th team is all very different. So I'll be interested to see what the Gronk finally puts in. But, look, 5th, Sharkies, they're there and abouts. They've got the team. They've got the coach. Sure, they've got AFB there now, which is, if the rumours are true, which I heard the other day, that he's playing lock. And that's a big human to be playing a ball-playing lock role. And then you've got the likes of little Cameron McInnes coming on as a utility and, proper using his energy. So Then I've got the Seagulls. I won't go too much into all that. I mean, the Seagulls are the Seagulls. Again, they've got the spine. They've got a fullback there that can destroy the competition. Rabbitohs for that exact region. It's no longer Fatrell. It's Fitrell. And I think hopefully he doesn't get injured. Like, as much as he's polarizing when it comes to Origin, I love watching that lad play, just like I love watching Greg Inglis play. When he wants to have a go, he can tear it apart. So that's why I've got the Rabbitohs sitting there in 7th. My 8th team sneaking in and a massive upcoming. I've got the Tigers.
Oh.
So
damn.
I've put the Tigers, and now what I'm talking about is, and this will make sense when I tell you my 9th team. I've got the Tigers round 27. It's a Sunday afternoon at Leichhardt, potentially. I've got to actually look at the draw because I can be talking absolute shit out of my ass here. Literally playing for their 8th spot. I feel like you said with the points difference that's where it'll come down to, and it'll be the Tigers need to beat this team by 12 points to get into the 8. And, that's how I think it'll be. I think Luai, as much as I don't like the lad as a player, regardless of what team he's playing for, I think like him and Appy back together again is scaring me.
Yeah.
And then you've got a Terrell May coming out saying that he wants to play 80 minutes and he wants to be an absolute destroyer. And if we know the May boys, they're all a bit cuckoo in the head. So once they put their head to it, they're going to go and do it. So, I've got the Tigers rounding out 8th. I couldn't find room for the Roosters, and a few other of the teams there. So that's where I'm at. All right. What have we got? What have we got here now? Who just misses out? So this is our 9, 10, 11, and 12 teams. I'll get you to kick that off, Flangers.
Yeah, this is where I've sort of ran into a little bit of trouble, to be honest. Is like you're sort of your first 6, 7. Yeah, like we're all sort of relatively on the money there. Even Chat GPT's sort of in agreement there, and then I just feel like this is where it's all going to go to shit for me. But anyway, here we go. I've gone the Knights, just missing.
Okay.
Then for some reason I've gone St. George.
Oh,
I think maybe, like Lomax there. No, Lomax isn't there. He went to
Valentine.
Yeah, Holmes is there. Sorry, he
Yeah.
left. Yeah, so I don't know. I've put them there.
Yep.
See how that goes. Then I've gone the Raiders. Old Sticky. I feel like he'll miss the 8 again, but he won't be, bottom. Like he won't be spoon contention or anything like that. And then to round out that 4, I've gone the Warriors.
Wow.
Bit random on home. But
All right.
no method to that madness.
no, yeah.
None. We'll just see how that flies in 30 weeks.
Yeah, copy. What about you, Ringer, mate?
Yeah, mate, I'm very much in the same boat as Langers. This is
Okay.
throwing darts at a fucking wall and
Okay.
hoping for the best. I think just because of the congestion, like it's so hard to get your top 8, and then who misses out? And you're like, oh fuck, they could get in. And anyway, so I've gone the Knights as well, coming in 9th. So that's random that we get them both. Sorry to the Knighted boys for just missing out on the finals this year, but
Not
anyway,
sorry.
not sorry.
Oh.
But yeah, same thing. I think they got a good side, but they're just here and there. God only knows, they'll probably win the minor premiership now that I've said that.
Yeah.
The Eels, I got the Eels really punching back
Okay.
up into very close contention. I think Lomax adds a lot to someone like Mitch Moses, who can kick the shit out of anything. So if Moses stays, but you can just tell, new coach, I just don't know. Like, you just don't know with the Eels. You just don't know whether they're still premiership hungover. Dill Brown, whether he's fucking leaving or not. Like, there's just so much chat around that shit. So, but I think they can recover a pretty decent season. I've got the Cows in 11th.
Okay.
Same thing. I think Val's a fucking big loss for them. I really do. Like, they just brings that professionalism. So, I just can't see how they recover. But I think they're going to be still sniffing just because they have Dead and Drenky and, pretty decent fucking forward back. But, and then the Finns in 12th, mate. I think they're going to just keep at that level where they are pretty much from last year with the changeover of coach. No huge signings, but another year of Katoa sort of bubbling away there. It's just, I think they take the next step if they can hold out this year, and then next year get him a 5'8". So,
Yeah. Okay.
yeah, got the Finns in 12th, mate.
Yep. No. Very good.
How you go,
Very
Brito? What did you spit out with your analytics?
Well, like you said, this could be where, we kind of, if our predictions so far are right, this could be where we start to separate from one another towards the end of the season. So, Dolphins, I've got at 9th. I think they are very unlucky. I think they, again, miss out just. I don't think the hangover from Wayne leaving is as bad with Wolf there. I think he's a pretty good coach. I think Katoa, that internationals that he was doing towards the end of the season last year, I think it would, leaps and bounds for his experience. But you're right, he does need a 6. And I think that's literally that reason is why they don't make the 8. So basically all my placings that I've done now are based on what players and what combinations that they have and the coaches that they also have. So that's where I've sort of run with that. Roosters, I've thrown in 10th, and I'm actually not happy with that. I actually think that they may finish lower. And the main reason for that is, Sam Walker not being there. You got Chad and Sandon Smith leading them around the park. They've had huge losses in every single position. And the only reason I have put them up there is simply because of Trent Robinson. He'll find a way. He'll get the right people in there. We got a couple of rugby union converts coming in. I'm not even going to attempt to say his last name just yet.
We'll just call him Mark.
Yeah, Mark's a great guy. I think, when Walker does come back, he'll have a lot on his shoulders, but he'll steer them, and they'll do maybe a little run towards the end there. But yeah, that's why I've got him there. Now, I've put
you also can't underestimate that sombrero either.
No, bro.
I've got money for days.
Even signing Nathan Cleary.
Yeah. And Ivan, he's playing again.
We're just gonna do a Melbourne and Tigers swap for half a season.
Yeah.
And then I've put the Cowboys at 11. Now, my thinking there was the exact same reason as the Roosters. They just don't have as reputable as a coach just yet, but they don't know what their halves are looking like at the moment. They've lost players all over the park. They've got injuries to some pretty serious talent already. So, obviously they've lost Val Holmes. They don't have their try-scoring machine out on the other wing there. I think Duffy's rumoured to start, so they've got a complete rookie there. I think he does start round one anyway, because I think Clifford has an injury or he's got surgery or something. Tamalolo is out with a bit of surgery. Lukey's gone. Chester's gone. Yeah, so it's all a bit how you go on there, but their systems will save them. People come back. They put some points together. And then I've got the Eels in 12th just to round it out. But I've got them sitting there for a bit of a drama. I feel like, there might be a bit of drama when it comes to the halves and signings and staying in the future. There might be a bit of an interrupted season there. So I think that might bring into it. Lomax, though, I took that note down, what you said there, Ringer, and I might move that into my Supercoach team later on with my juggling that I'm going to be doing. So, that's my top bottom 8, I guess. I'll swing straight into the floppers down the bottom here. I've got Raiders sitting at 13th, and no real reason. They were the best of the shit. Is basically I didn't know where to put them. I didn't think they were as good as the teams above them, but I think they're
13's a good spot.
and it's Ricky. So then I've gone Dragons. I really think that they do struggle without Ben Hunt. I think they realise. I mean, the lad was top try assist this year, and he's been in the top 10 try assists for the last 2 seasons. You don't avoid the spoon when you got the top try assist guy in your squad. So I feel like they really do struggle. I don't think their recruitment to replace the players that they lost. I mean, Val is obviously, I'd put him up there right next to Lomax, but I mean, you still got to give Val the ball.
Exactly.
So, and it's like you said with Lomax, he's going from one system where he had Ben Hunt feeding him pill, and he's got Mitchell Moses, Still Brown feeding him the pill. So, I've got them there. Warriors, I'm really worried about the Warriors. Really worried. I don't know if they have an answer for Nosawn Johnson and what's going on there. And then losing AFB. I know that they've brought in Fisher Harris, but I mean, he's an older body. He's really there. I mean, he's experienced and he's a great player. He's the Bash Brothers' other half with Leota for a reason. But does he have the team around him to help him? He can't carry the team. That's not his job. No. So did that. And then 16, I've gone the Knights. Because
really
I think
sinking the boot into the boys.
Fuck the Knights.
Mate, I have zero. Yeah, I've got zero. Yeah, clip it up, mate. Clip it up. I've got zero hope for the Knights this season. They do not know what they're doing in their halves. They had no idea towards the end of the season. I don't rate Adam O'Brien as a coach. I like a great assistant coach, sure, but I don't think he's a head coach. And I feel like Kalen Ponga breaks his shoulders 5 rounds in trying to carry the team. He's one HIA away from retirement. So that's where I've got them. And then I've got the Titans getting the spoon. That might be the big hot take there. But I just feel like, Desi, yes, I feel like he's made the call on the fullback. I think, Desi wouldn't start a preseason without a set person in the team. Yeah, competition's good, but Desi, be very clear, you've got the fullback position, go and lose it, sort of thing, like that sort of setup. So I think that they just do it wrong. I don't know what goes on in Gold Coast. Tino is great, but he's been out for a whole year now. Fafita, I don't know if Desi can get in his ear. But then you got the same issues with the halves, and I feel like they just go into a big shit heap. So anyway, that's going to be all completely wrong.
That's what we can all confidently say.
And I'll hand over to you, Langers, to do your wrong prediction.
Yeah, well, like I feel like these bottom 9-10 teams, like it's just you can probably put them all into a fucking hat and just draw them out, and you probably might be on the money there. You know, I've gone the Titans.
Yep.
For what Jack said before when he picked the Titans, but also what you just said, Brito, is while Tino is an absolute mountain of a man, he obviously, he's a good leader for those boys. Like I feel like they really respect him and his sort of leadership style and all that sort of stuff. He's been out for a long time.
Yeah.
And hopefully he just comes back and just starts, ripping and tearing. Absolutely. We all hope that for him. But that's still a question mark, at the end of the day. He might not be fit or just, come out of one tackle a bit sort of skew if and he's off again. And then, they lose their leadership, they lose their guidance and just sort of same path again as last year. After that, I've gone the Tigers.
Yep.
I think they won't get the spoon this year because of their recruiting, but also Clark Luai, so he can get his head taken off pretty directly. After that, I've gone the Eels. I think basically what you said, Bruno, with the Eels, like, and well, both of yous really, you got Lomax there who is just heavy on the tries, and you've got some decent people feeding him, the pills. So hopefully they can sort of convert and sort of not really be fighting for the bottom. I think they probably will be. And then that leaves, unfortunately, like a dog, I'll put two Queensland teams fighting for the fucking spoon. And that's the Dolphins and then the Cowboys. I think the Cowboys get the spoon.
Oh, shit.
I don't like it. I am a Queenslander, so obviously you do want the Queensland teams to go, but you look at their recruiting, you look at what they've lost, you look at all of those sort of factors, and I think the Dolphins hangover from Mr. Bennett, I think that will probably come into play, to be honest. Also, don't have a fucking clue. So, but like Cowboys, they've got a pretty good team, but yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's a fucking just a draw.
Yep.
Of the hat, and eat a dick, Cowboys.
Yeah. No, well, I think the Gronk's opinion will be make sure you walk to the fucking car with your keys in your hand ready.
Might
be a bit of kneecapping.
Car and you guys is bloody situation.
Yeah.
Fucking unreal.
Fucking no. Well, no, that's pretty good actually. I like that little breakdown there. All right, Ringer, fire us away, mate. Finish us out here.
What do you
Righto, mate. 13th Tigers. I think they drag themselves up off the bottom. Luai, Appy, Galvin was good last year. Terrell May, like you said, gives him a bit of cunt in the middle.
Yep.
Depends if he stays on the field or not. Like he could, hopefully for their sake he does. 14th, I've got the Dragons. I think they're not going to be as shit. Like I know that Hunty's going to be missing. It's the same for me. This bottom bit's going to be congested. Like I don't think that this year. I think there's not going to be a team where you go, oh yeah, we're going to fucking trounce them. Like it's going to the competition is getting fairly tight. Like a team with Gutho, Cookie, Val, like. That's a team of cunts in there that really going to have a crack. You'd expect at least, but in saying that, Gutho couldn't do anything for the fucking Eels last year when he was on his own. But anyway, that's why they're in 14th, 15th. My big call is the Roosters. Mate, I can't. I know they are the Roosters, but I think this is going to be their reset year before they take off again. Without a functioning half, you fellas have got the Cows way down low, right? Chad's going to be the fucking Roosters halfback until Walker comes back.
Yeah.
And then the Cows kicked him the fuck out. So
that
sort of tells me you're not, and I know he's probably going to a more professional system, blah, blah, blah. I just don't think he can really pull it out of the fire for him. I just think they're a big hangover from losing JWH too, like a real spiritual leader. So I think the Roosters, that's close to my hot take, is that the Roosters are going to be down low. And then that leaves, I'll pick it, but I've got the Raiders in 16th and Warriors in 17th. I think the poor old Wars, mate, the emotional hangover we seen glimpses of last year, but they still had AFB and they still had SJ, like, hanging around.
Yep.
I think losing both of them out of that team, like, I don't care how good of a forward pack you are and what your finishes are. If you don't have a good set of halves in this competition, you're in real trouble. And the way that the Warriors draw, like, you know, they've got to travel every week, and I just think it's going to wear on them. So that's why I've got them in last. And then, so Raiders just above there in 16th for me. I think this is the year before they can have a decent year also, is just because one injury to anywhere, and it's just rookies.
Yeah.
Like, there's no worry, like, there's no depth there, I don't think, except for in the forwards where they seem to have everyone, which, you know, gets them out of trouble a lot of times. But if Jamal Fogarty hits the deck, you've got two kids playing half, and that's like other teams just exploit that shit. So, I unfortunately, I think the Raiders come second last, Warriors come last, mate.
Yep. All right. That rounds out the accountability ladder prediction for the NRL. We'll move on to the NRLW.
Just before
now.
you move on, Thomas, I'd like to put forward a little motion for penalty Broncos. That sounds way too formal. Way too formal. Apologise for that.
Say,
apologies for that, Tone.
I hear you, sir. Carry on. Thank you.
But how about on next year when we do accountability, we add ChatGPT as like the fifth.
The fifth player.
But you do your ladder first, then you still punch in your 3,000 lines of code, and then see what they come out, and then that way we can sort of see how ChatGPT is progressing and how we're progressing against the AI.
All right.
Sounds good. Food for thought.
Move that through.
I know. And next year, Gronk has to put his fucking team in. So we can...
he's gonna watch this episode and be like,
I know.
Nah,
take it all apart.
Nah, I'll get in to throw it in. He'll have to get it to me in the morning before we release it. We'll do the NRLW ladder now. We'll do the same. We'll do the premiership contenders. So we'll do top four, and then we'll quickly roll through the remaining teams and just see where we think they'll sit. Obviously, a little bit difficult. We've got two fresh teams coming in with the Bulldogs and the Warriors. So there's 12 teams there now. But it'd be interesting to see what everyone thinks. This could be wildly different as well. So I'll kick off the top four with the premiership. I think our women go back to back minor premiers. I think with Upton coming in, it's an absolute no-brainer. We really haven't lost too many through either injury or moving to other clubs. We've retained a whole lot. We've got a couple of youngies coming through that are fresh and raring to go. I think the Sharkies are up there with us. I think they continue their form. That's seen them trounce us into the finals sort of last year. Then I've got the Roosters up there just because they are the Roosters and they've got a good team, whatnot. But I think the Eels slip into that fourth spot is what I've got going on there. So I just feel like they learn a little bit. They came out firing 2024, blew us off the park, I think it was, and another team. And then just the back end, they sort of just had a couple of nasty injuries to a couple of key girls, and that sort of bit them. So I look for them to go better this year. So I'll pass over to you, Langers Matt.
Yeah, mate, I've gone Broncos, number one.
No doubt,
I don't think we need to explain that one. They'll probably just be undefeated for this whole season, so that'll be good to watch. Second, I've gone the Roosters for basically the same reason why you've got the Roosters in the top four. It's because they're the Roosters. They've got a pretty good team. Third is Sharks. Again, same reason. They've Penatani, she's an awesome player, good captain. She's a good leader, all that sort of stuff. And then fourth, and I don't even know why I picked them, but I've gone the Titans.
What? Yeah. Okay.
I don't even know why.
I love it.
Okay.
My God.
We'll call it woman's intuition.
Fair enough. Go for it. All right, Ringer, what do you got?
Mate, I'm disappointed. Pretty sure Lang has read me notes because I've gone the Bronx on top. I honestly think it could be an undefeated season. If you add Tamika Upton to that team, mate, like anyway, hopefully if they don't, not undefeated, but if they don't go and win this comp, I'm sorry, they need to. Like they just have to. I've got the Sharks in second. I think they really grow off this year. I think they got a lot of confidence now. Roosters in third, and then I've got the Titans in fourth as well. Just because a few of the games I watched last year, they've got that glitter strip footy sort of down packed, I think. Like Shaylee Bent there and the 5'8", who is for Matsilia or whatever his name is. They were stretching teams, and I just think they're smoky for putting some score with more stretched competition. I don't think their team's been dismantled as much. So, I'm with Langers. I think they can make into the top four, mate.
Fuck yeah!
How did you see it?
Yeah, I feel like a dog where I've put them now.
Did you do Chat GPT for this one as well?
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
Yep.
And you can tell at the bottom because I got no idea. So I'll quickly run through my 5 to 12. I got Knights just missing out. I think Upton's a bit of a thing. I think there's a bit of issues going on there as well, so that might, whatever. Cowboys, I reckon that they leaps and bounds, they go ahead. I think they really do push the Knights for that spot, even the Eels. I think they just get a bit unlucky to not make it. Tigers, I think they build on the season that they had. They won their first couple of games in the franchise's history this year, so I look to them to continue. Greg Inglis has been named as the assistant coach for them. I don't know who the coach is, though. I was meant to look that up before the show because I think they got rid of Kamali. Was it Kamali that was doing it? Or
pretty sure.
Yeah, I did see that. I thought they got rid of him. Anyway, then I've gone the Dragons, and then I've gone the Titans in ninth. Just a bit of a fall off from where they were. Okay. They were up. They were really good, and now I think they've just fallen off a little bit. Then I went Raiders for no particular reason, and then I've just got Bulldogs, Warriors, because I haven't seen them. I don't know what's going on. I could lead, obviously Gus has got something to do with it, right? They're going to have systems in place and all that sort of stuff. But I basically went alphabetical order, who's going to finish in that right there, and those between the Bulldogs and the Warriors. And I just think the Warriors, with the travel, the girls may get a little bit not used to that sort of thing, so that might be a bit difficult for them. So I just put them there. Hopefully they grow the next year sort of thing. But that's how I've seen that and rounded that out. So I'll throw back to you, Ringer, to finish off your ladder there.
Yeah, mate. In fifth, I think the Eels, it's the same thing. I think fifth, sixth, seventh is going to be, fourth to seventh is going to be really tight.
Yep.
So I've got the Eels in fifth, building on last year, like you said. Mahalia Murphy, probably one of my favourite players. She's an absolute gun. Sixth, Cows. I think the Cows, they were the most penalised and one of the top error-making teams last year.
Yep.
But in periods, they look good. Gentlemen at 9, they look good. So I think if they can clean their act up, they can really give a bit of a shake to that bottom end of the finals. I've got the Knights in seventh, same as you, Tamika leaving. There's, you don't lose the best player in the comp if your club's happy. I don't think. No matter what happens. I got the Warriors in 8, just because I can see a real team effort from the girls from over the across the Dutch. And, I just think because it's still, the comp's getting so much better, but I mean, having a close-knit team of like-minded women pushing for the same goal, I think there's a real chance that the Warriors can, have a good breakout year. I've got the Bulldogs in 9th, the Dragons in 10th, Raiders in 11th, and Tigers in 12th, mate. So,
Yep.
Just, Tigers, I think, just unlucky. Like, it's the same thing. There's going to be there's only a couple of games, so there's only going to be one win between all of them. So you can throw them all up in the air and come down with 100 different bloody combinations, and you'll probably never get there. So, but yeah, that's how I've got them lined up, mate.
All right, sweet. What about you, Langans, mate?
Yeah, she was a bit of a rough one trying to sort of place these teams. I've gone for an absolute smoky, and I've gone the Warriors just missed top 4. I've got them as 5.
Okay.
No other reason than, I think they just kill it. I think they bring a element to the game with, their size might be a bit of a factor. Like, I haven't even seen the team, but I think
it's
maybe
a factor.
who knows? And then I've gone Raiders after that.
Okay.
No real reason why. Gone the Knights after the Raiders. Then I've gone the Eels. Well, once again, there's no. Yeah. Yep. He's just throwing darts at a dartboard.
Oh
really.
yeah, we understand, bro.
Oh, you feel it too? Oh, sweet. Yeah, cool. After the Eels, I've gone St. George, then Tigers, then Cowboys. I think, the Cowboys just don't really fire that much again. Hopefully they do. But then I've just gone Bulldogs last because I needed to pick a team that was last, and I don't know anything about them, and I just figured that Warriors might have a fucking dig. So that's why the Bulldogs are last, and that is the only reason why I think the Bulldogs are last.
Okay. All right. The odds have just shortened up to $1.05 of the Gronk seeing Langers in the car park.
Yeah. Bring a canoe, mate.
Bring your floaties, bro.
Yeah, we're going to battle this one out with floaters on, bro.
Yeah.
Nah, very good. All right, that's the ladders done there for accountability, and we will move on now to our points, our individual areas, I guess it is. So with the NRL, we'll go, and with the NRLW as well, we'll go highest try scorer, highest point scorer, your hot take, and then we'll go a Dally M winner. So NRL, I've gone Jesse Arthurs for try scorer.
Oh,
yep,
love that.
Yep. I got a fill in there. Point scorer, I'm going to go Hughes. Point scorer, I'm going to go Hughes. I don't know.
Jerome.
I feel like, Jerome, sorry. So I feel like, I know Meany kicks down there, but I've just thrown that one out. That was sort of what I was thinking. Everyone else that I sort of picked, I don't know what the team's going to do. So I just went for whoever I thought was going to be at the top. Hot take. Now, I'm going to be very specific on this one again, Ringer. So you can definitely hold me accountable. And again, I said at the start, I don't want anyone to get sacked, but this might turn your head. Robinson sacked if the Roosters don't sign Dylan Brown.
Right.
So
yeah, that's huge. That's hot.
That's my
hotter than motherfucker.
Yeah, I think Dylan Brown by the end of round 10 will either have signed with the Roosters, or obviously he's got to sign with the Eels again. But I think it'll be the Roosters where he's going, and I think if they don't land him, I think that they'll finish in a position that's not acceptable, and Robinson will be sacked.
Okay.
And then Dally M winner, I've gone Ben Hunt.
I just keeping the Broncos alive.
You motherfucker.
But yeah, I've got also another really good Dally M winner, but I just I was only joking there, Langers, mate. So I've gone Cameron Munster for my Dally M winner. He's been on Zoom calls with Anthony Minicello, learning how to come back from his little injury that he had last season, and he's just the vibes right. Money Munster. He left, if he doesn't win a premiership or Dally M's or anything like that before the end of his career from here, he's done all that and left a lot of money on the table at the Dolphins, and that will be just stinging him. So I think Cameron Munster for Dally M, and hopefully they don't win the premiership this year.
So yeah, you're saying that the Storm are going to beat the Broncos in the grand final. Is that what
No,
I'm hearing,
hey,
Thomas?
no, Dally M happens before the finals, my friend.
Yeah, not
Oh,
Clive
that's good.
Churchill,
Yeah,
brother.
not
good.
Clive Churchill.
Sorry,
no,
Thoroughbred.
it's all right.
Sorry.
I'll take my apology in writing.
Since we're
Um,
formal today
That crayon.
and misspelt
So-
WM.
As long as the crayon tastes good, mate.
Yeah.
All right, I'll put the burner then on you, Langers, mate.
Yeah, look, I've gone a wild top try scorer, and we've basically just been rubbishing the Roosters, saying that they're probably not even going to make it. And then I've just gone ahead and gone Daniel Tupou as the top try scorer. Why? I don't know. Just seems like if you put $5 on him for an anytime try scorer,
Yeah.
more often than not, you're winning your $8 back, aren't you?
Yeah, that's
So-
true.
I've gone Tupou for the top try scorer. Top points, I've gone Nick Meaney. I just think, he's the kicker for the Storm. Storm, they'll probably put a lot of the, 4 points on and probably minimal against. So I'd say Nick Meaney will probably be in the thick of
Yep.
those points. Now, my hot take. Now, I don't know how pinpoint I needed to be on this hot take, so I've just thrown one, right? Now, Thoroughbreds, let me know what you think in this one as well. But I've gone, when Mam comes back, he is 14 or 18. Because Hunt is firing in the halves with Reynolds. Reynolds isn't injured, right? So I feel like this is all just hopefully more than it will happen.
I love your wish casting on your hot
Yeah,
take,
that's-
and I'm here for it.
So my thoughts is, if you've got Reynolds not injured, he's firing, no dramas. You got Hunt just killing it in the halves. You've got either Moser or you got Corey, as a hooker, killing it. Why would you change that? There's
Yep.
no reason for you to change that. Like Mam, awesome. The kick chase on Mam, second to none. All of those things. Mam's an awesome player. But if you've already got a winning ticket, why change it? Why change it? So hopefully, my hot take is the Broncos are absolutely killing it when Mam comes back, and he will have to earn his spot back in as the run-ons.
Sweet.
So that's
I absolutely love that, because if that's true, like how much burning does that put in that kid to want to actually get back in that team,
Yeah,
which
exactly
is only
right.
beneficial to us. So
Yeah,
I fucking love
Yeah.
that.
Exactly right. And then I don't know if you sort of picked up on that, Thoroughbreds, but my Dally M is Ben Hunt. I think he's just going to fucking kill it this year. I think he's back home. He's where he wants to be. He's got a little, point to prove for the Broncos fans out there for his little sort of fumble a few years ago. We won't bring that up again. Still hurts. So I've gone Ben Hunt. I've gone Ben Hunt to absolutely just smoke everybody this year.
I looked up the point scoring system for the Dally M2 on that because obviously he might move positions and he will accumulate points as anyone else, but he'll be eligible for whatever position he plays the most. So
Okay.
it doesn't matter. Like if he, if he ends up playing more games at 5/8 than whatever, he'll win Dally M for that position if he's got the points there. So that's how that works. All right, sweet. I love the hot take. I reckon that's like choosing a winger for an anytime try scorer, but each to their own, mate. You might be sitting here at the end of the season, winning accountability on that sort of stuff. So we'll see how we end up. How'd you go, Ringer?
Yeah, mate. I've got a couple here. Right, so top try scorer. I've gone for back-to-back because I'm high on the Titans. I've gone AKP.
Yep.
Carl Pereira, I think, could get it again. Not because the Titans are the best. It's just because he is that fucking fast. There are games where he's going to score hat-tricks.
Yep.
And, he's going to skin some poor cunt down that left edge, and they're going to keep going there. And so I think he can do that again. Now, I've crossed out 5 names for top bloody point scorer. Garrick, that I picked last year, that I probably should pick again, crossed him out. Pappy, if he's kicking for the Storm, if Meaney doesn't kick and Pappy kicks, I had him as a red-hot throw. I had Critter, if Critter's kicking. But I've settled on Latrell Mitchell.
Okay.
I think if he's he will be goal kicking, and he's fit, and he definitely is going to go over for a fair few meat pies. And if he's kicking well, mate, I think he can accumulate a shit ton of points this year.
That's a great shout. I love
Yeah,
that.
I like that.
For Dally M, and I know you two are shitting all over the Knights, and I've got them in ninth, but I've got KP, and the reason is no one else in that fucking team is going to take a point off him. If there's
Okay.
6 points
I see
available,
what you did.
yeah, you know what I mean? Like, if there's
He's
6
getting
points
problem.
available, or however they score it this year, God only fucking knows, but, like, if they play half all right, he's getting every fucking point. So, you know, that's the reasoning I done that. Just because every other player I tried to put in there, again, Critter, Munster, Hughes, all got their names crossed out for some, because I talked myself out of it, is because they are in teams where someone else might be able to take a few points off them.
Yep.
Whereas the fucking Knights, no one else is. He's getting all of them every time.
It's like the
and-
most backhanded compliment I've ever heard of, too, by the way.
I know, and then this is why they get yeah. Go win the Dally M because everyone else is fucking turds.
Yeah.
But you know what I shouldn't say that. They're not turds. Poor bastards.
No.
But what I'm saying, in a team where the Knights are going to win some Dally M points, they're all going to KP
Yeah.
because he set up 4 tries, scored 1, and probably kicked 3 goals or some fucking thing. So,
Yep.
and then for my hot take, which I'm sure my little mate, the Grop, probably fucking back up knowing him, but if cows really shit the bed, I reckon Todd Payton's fucking gone.
Oh, shit. Yeah, okay.
Mate, he's been fighting with that club since he got there. We see what Taumalolo did in that bloody Pacific Championship.
Yeah.
That cunt is a fucking animal. And he's not getting that at club. And I know it's all different. They go play whatever. And, we're reducing his minutes because we want to have a long-term fucking whatever. Bro, he's not playing like that for your 15 minutes you're putting him on the fucking field.
Yeah.
Like, if he was, I'd be all for it. But he's not. He's not being that destroyer that we know he can. He's lost Val Holmes. You know, he hasn't made a fucking signing, which, yeah, I don't know. Like, and I know he might have some great development and it all might go to shit, but I think, you know, the Cows have got something different to offer to the NRL is, like, we're isolated. You're not going to be in fucking Sydney. You're not going to be in the headlights all the time. You know, tropical, blah, blah, blah. They've got a fair bit to offer. And, like, if you play good, like, literally every cunt in the town's going to ride your dick, like, metaphorically or fucking physically, if you want that to happen. But,
Literally.
yeah, or literally. So, yeah, I think there's a fair bit of blowtorch on him, even though I've got him in 11th on my ladder. If they're bad, if they go way worse than that, I think he's fucked because, like, you can't really point to, except for when they did go pretty well into the finals. But I mean, has there been improvement from that? Like, last year they were fucking neither here nor there. And, yeah. So I just think they might look at moving Todd Payton on. That's my hot take for next year. Well,
Yeah,
this year.
beauty. All right. No, sounds good. All right, we'll move on to the NRLW. We might as well just keep with you, Ringer, mate. What are you running with there? Same go.
Well,
same go.
I've gone a real Broncos heavy just because I think how dominant they can be this year.
Yep.
I've got Julia, top try scorer.
Nice.
Like, obviously, like, she's a fucking beast. Romy Teasdale, top point scorer. Because she's going to be kicking all them fucking goals. And Tamika Upton win the Dally M, mate. Because coming to that club, I think, in the same way as that, how I talked myself into KP in the last one, and how other players could probably take points away, but in a team like that, Tamika's going to be the one setting everyone up. So, you know, she's going to be the Queensland fullback. She's the Australian fullback. Fullbacks are all the fucking noise at the moment. Like, I think she's just going to be too good again and really find her feet back home.
Yep.
And then hot take is the Titans making the top 4 from sort of relative obscurity, playing that glitter strip of footy. Get it in there and, throwing some new shit at the competition and, mate, weaseling their way into the top 4.
All right. Copy. I like it. Fingers crossed most of that comes off. Langers, hit me with yours, mate.
My fingers are equally as crossed because I have picked the exact same thing for all fucking 3.
Wow.
I've gone Superwoman, Julia Robinson. She is just going to score just like 300 tries this year. About 250 of them are just going to be fucking pearlers, highlight reels. It's going to be amazing. Top points, yep, Romy Tatzar. I think she's just going to kick like a motherfucker this year. And yeah, Dally M, Tamika. I think she's going to like being back at Brisbane. I think she's probably going to appreciate being, away from the Knights and maybe, the relationship side of things over there. So, yeah, hopefully she just comes in and absolutely kills it. And my hot take is, basically the Warriors, do really well for their first year is my sort of thing. Like I've put them at 5th, but I think, for their inaugural year, I think they really do better than what people expect them to do.
Okay, cool. All right. I've gone a little bit different. I do have one similar. So I've got point scorer Romney. I just think, we'll be too dominant. Should be kicking a lot. There'll be a lot of kicks coming from right in front of the sticks. So I think she'll be too good. I've got Upton as the top try scorer. I think she just finds her form. Not that she really lost it, but I just think in that team she'll just be hitting gaps and being put into places and whatnot and sniffing around like she always does. And I've gone for almost the exact same reason why you went with your Dally M ringer. I've gone Jamie Chapman.
Okay.
I think the Titans really don't. She's just brilliant. So I feel like she'll just be the Dally M winner just out of that sort of thing. And I've had to go. It was very difficult to do the hot take with the girls because anything could be a really hot take, but we don't really know the ins and outs of it all yet. So my hot take is Queensland to sweep Origin. I think it'll be the first three game sweep in the NRLW. So I've gone with that one. So, and I'm pretty happy. I reckon they could do it. We've all talked enough shit here. We're going to give somebody else who, really does love to talk shit a go. And that is
hand it over to a professional.
Yeah, that is the Grom. So here he is with his excuses.
Look, boys, there comes a time in a man's life where he has to just own up and take his licks and be humiliated by his mates for some horrendous punting and ladder predictions. So that's where we are. Look, 1 from 17's not great, I'll admit that, but we've conducted a very thorough off-season review and we found out where we went wrong, and the main issue was trusting the Broncos were going to be good again. So we terribly underestimated the amount of scarring that you guys would have after possibly the biggest bedshed in all of sporting history in 2023. And he has come out there last year, he looked like Freddy Krueger, just one big scar. So, and fuck me. So anyway, we'll be better in this year, boys, so get on me back. We're going places.
Like
He's trying to outdo you in the bed stakes, bro. He's fucking getting up there.
He's pushing it, isn't he?
Has he ever been wrong, to be fair?
Oh,
Has he ever been wrong?
I mean, when it comes to cases not about his team, he's pretty straight shooting there. But when it comes to his team, he's fucking pretty horseshit.
Yeah.
I just don't like how right he is about us, like lots of the time.
Righto, we're done with accountability. We've heard from the Gronk. Let us know, Thoroughbreds, what you reckon. Jump on the social media. Tell us your thoughts. Who had the shittest hot take? Who do you agree with, for one? Is our ladders anywhere near what you guys are thinking? Are we talking absolute horse shit? What's going on? Like, just let us know. Like, give us some engagement. Like I said, that's it from us. Head over to the socials. We're on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, all Penalty Broncos, Spotify, YouTube. Get on there, mingle in amongst us, give us your opinions, like and subscribe. Let us know if there's a particular topic that you want us to investigate and cover. We've got a little bit of free time in the off season here as we lead up to it. Maybe you want us to do a deep dive on some stats. Maybe you want our opinion on who should be playing in which fucking positions, all that sort of shit. Like I said, we're doing it Sundays now, so it'll drop Monday. And our aim is to absolutely just glaze the Broncos. So if you want to hear lads just talking non-stop good shit about your team every single week, this is the spot for it. One last thing. We have a tipping and we have a Supercoach comp going on this season. We brought that on board since we're starting now at the beginning of the season. We've already got about 12 in the Supercoach. And I think we're up to about 5 or 6 in the tipping. So we need to pump those numbers up. We get to there. There is a prize at the end of the season. So if you're in it to win it, there's only one way to find out if you're any good. We'll see where we finish. It'd be embarrassing if we all finish at the bottom. Maybe it'll just send us into early retirement. But yeah, go and check it out. The link. So on our socials on Facebook and Instagram, the code's there. It's all run through the Supercoach app, even the tipping. So it's really easy to find in the one app there. Come and have some fun. We'll talk about it week to week as the season progresses. We'll give a shout out to people who played their Joker rounds, if it worked out for them, if they had perfect rounds, if they're at the top of the leaderboard. We'll give you a mad shout out and whatnot. So, but anyway, bet responsibly, stay out of one another unless it's consensual. We'll ride off into the sunset. See you later.
Good on you, Thoroughbreds. Thank you.